Imagine a city that does not exist. It has no name on any map, no road signs put to it. If you were driving through the Ural Mountains in the 1950s and took a wrong turn, you would be stopped by armed guards before you even saw the smokestacks. To the people who lived there, it was called Chelyabinsk 40. To the rest of the world, it was a blank space of forest and snow. This was the Soviet Union's deepest secret. It was the home of the Mine Production Association, a massive factory complex built for one purpose, that is, to churn out plutonium for atomic bombs. The Cold War was freezing over, and the Soviets needed to catch up to Americans. Speed was everything, safety was nothing. They dumped radioactive sludge directly into the Teka River, where villages downstream bathed and fished. But the most dangerous waste, the high-level boiling hot soup of isotopes, was stored in a massive underground canyon. A row of steel tanks, each encased in concrete, buried deep in the earth like coffins. These tanks generated so much heat for the radiation that they needed constant water cooling. If the water stopped, the waste would dry out, and if it dried out, it would become unstable. It was September 29, 1957, a quiet Sunday afternoon. Deep underground in tank number 14, a cooling pump has failed. It actually failed months ago, but the sensors were broken, and nobody noticed. The radioactive sludge inside is getting hotter. The water evaporates, the mixture turns into a bone-dry layer of explosive nitrite salts, sitting there at 660 Fahrenheit. At 4:20 p.m., a spark inside the tank ignites the mixture. The explosion is not nuclear, it is chemical, but it has the force of 75 tons of TNT. It rips through the earth, a concrete lid weighing 160 tons. Around the weight of a blue whale is thrown 80 feet into the air. The dust sears the chimneys of the buildings. It shatters windows for miles, and it vomits a cloud of radioactive dust over a mile high into the atmosphere. That evening, the villagers in the surrounding towns look up and gasp. The sky is glowing with weird, pulsing colors, luminous red and pink. They think they are seeing the aurora borealis, the northern light. Families stand on their porches to admire the beauty. They call their children out to watch. They don't know that the lights are actually ionized particles of cerium 144 and strontium 90 glowing in the twilight. They are actually admiring their own execution. The reaction from the authorities is silence. There are no sirens, no announcement on the radio. In the secret city of Chelyabinsk 40, elite scientists and workers are quietly scrubbed down. But life continued for the 270,000 ordinary people who were mostly farmers and villagers. It takes a week before the military arrives the nearest village. The soldiers tell the villagers that a strange goat disease is spreading. The villagers are told to dig huge trenches. They are ordered to shoot their livestock, their cows, their horses, their dogs, and bury them. They are told to burn their clothes. Pregnant women are dragged into hospitals for forced abortion. Then the houses are bulldozed. The villages are wiped off the face of the earth, leaving nothing but cloud dust. The people are moved to new settlements, but they are already sick. Their skin is peeling. They have mysterious bruises. They are tired all the time. But the doctors have strict orders. Never use the word radiation. They diagnose the dying patients with vegetative dystonia, a fake nervous disorder. For 20 years, the world knew nothing. The CIA actually heard rumors of the explosion. They even had U-2 pipeline photos showing the scorched earth. But here is the twist. The CIA didn't tell the public. Why? Because the American nuclear industry was just getting started. The US government was afraid that if the American public knew a nuclear waste dump could explode, they would demand the closure of the US plants. So the Americans helped the Soviets keep the secret. It wasn't until 1976 that a Soviet scientist named Zoris Medvedev escaped to London and blew the whistle. Even then, the nuclear industry claimed he was lying. They said such an explosion was scientifically impossible. It wasn't until the fall of Soviet Union in 1990s that the files were opened and the East Ural radioactive trace, a scar of contamination stretching 18,000 miles, was officially acknowledged. Today, the area is still closed. The specific spot where the tank exploded is now a nature reserve, not to protect the nature from us, but to protect us from the nature. The trees there grew in twisted and bizarre shape. This is known as the Christim disaster. Christim was about the slow, silent accumulation of negligence. It reminds us that what we bury in the dark doesn't always stay there. Sometimes it raises up to light the sky. Thank you for listening till the end. To know more unknown facts like this, like, subscribe, and stay tuned.